Hello, today we're going to make a fresh carrot cake. We're going to start with our dry ingredients and we're going to sift them through this sifter. I have 2 cups of flour. I have 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. I have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And 1 teaspoon of salt. We're going to mix our dry ingredients together. I have 2 cups of sugar. We'll add to it, and 1.5 cups of vegetable oil. And we're going to add 4 eggs. We're going to mix this together in our mixer. Make sure we scrape it all from the sides and the bottom, and it mixes well together. Now with our spatula, we're going to mix in 2 cups of grated carrots. These are some that I had in the freezer. I wasn't going to use them, so I put them in the freezer so when I make a carrot cake, I have them. 1 cup of crushed pineapples in the juice, or 1 small can, 8 ounces. And we have 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. You can use a 9 by 13 pan, or you can use 2 round or 2 square smaller pans. We bake it at 350. You bake it for 35 to 40 minutes at 350. I have my 2 round pans. And what I did was cut some wax paper to fit into the bottom of the pan. That way you're for certain that it's not gonna stick. What I do, I fold it in half and I cut it until it fits in the bottom. What you do is you spray the bottom of your pan and the edges with some cooking spray. And then you take your wax paper and you put it down into the bottom. The cooking spray holds it in place. Once you cut one, you can use it as a pattern to cut the other. Okay, now that our pans are ready, we're gonna pour our cake in our pans evenly as best as we can. We have our oven preheated to 350 degrees. Now we're going to take these two round cake pans and put them in the oven. I have 8 ounces of cream cheese in a bowl. I measured it out of a big pack that I had got from Sam's. And so we're going to let that get room temperature. And I have a stick of butter getting room temperature for the icing. And we're going to make that when the cake is done, because the cake will be warm, it'll have to cool before we can put the icing on it. So we're gonna leave that out and let it get room temperature for our icing. Okay, we have one of our cake layers out of the pan and onto our cake taker. Now we're gonna make our icing. I have about 8 ounces of cream cheese in my bowl. I'm gonna add a half a stick of butter that I have. I'll let it get to room temperature. To the cream cheese. And I'm gonna blend these two together with our mixer. Oops, gotta put it on the other side. We're gonna mix our half a stick of butter and our 8 ounces of cream cheese so they get creamy. This is gonna be our icing for our carrot cake. Okay, we're gonna scrape the sides of the bowl, get all the butter off the sides. Mix it again. Okay, now that we have our butter and our cream cheese mixed together, I'm gonna add a teaspoon of homemade vanilla. This is our homemade vanilla. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon, and I have a video to show you how to make the homemade vanilla. And we're gonna add our powdered sugar. To our bowl. Okay, I'm gonna add 1 cup of powdered sugar. And we'll mix that together. I'm gonna scrape the powdered sugar from the edge of the bowl. Okay, now we're gonna add our second cup of powdered sugar to our bowl. It don't seem like it's gonna stay up. We'll let it fall. Okay, so that's our second cup of powdered sugar. And with our butter and our cream cheese, you want to add a little bit at a time so your powdered sugar don't get all over the place. Kind of start out slow mixing it. That way it doesn't fly. Now we're going to scrape our powdered sugar from the edge of the bowl. Okay, so I'm going to add a half a cup of powdered sugar. So that's a total of 2.5 cups of powdered sugar to our icing. I'm going to scrape this powdered sugar from the edge of the bowl so it'll blend in. Okay, and that is our cream cheese icing. We're going to get ready to put it on our cake. Okay, we have our icing and we have our cake. Now we're going to ice in our cake. If you just pull a lot of it close to the edge, it'll just go on down to the side of the cake and you just spread it out and it's easier to ice in the sides that way. Now we're going to get our other layer and set it on top. I've taken a butter knife and I've rubbed it along the edge to get it loose from the sides. And you'll see when I pull it out, the wax paper that I put in the bottom, it really helps the cake from sticking on the bottom. It just comes right off. Top kind of stuck to my hands a little bit. It's a very moist cake. You're gonna make sure you get all the wax paper off the bottom of the cake. Now we're gonna ice the top part. Pretty much gonna ice it the same way that we did the bottom. And here's our carrot cake, all icing and ready to eat. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.